Hello students, we are doing the problems on labor. Already we have completed 3 long problems, main problems on labor. So if you are first time joined the channel, we are doing the subject cost accounting. Already I have uploaded the introduction theory part of labor and already some 6 short problems on labor and 3 long problems on labor. Already I have uploaded. So watch the previous videos, then only you can be able to understand this video, that is from 4th problem onwards. So if you are new to my channel, I am giving the information that in the playlist I have uploaded the videos of so many subjects like advanced accounting, financial accounting, cost accounting, and corporate accounting, business statistics, investment management, financial management. You can select your concerned subject and watch the videos to get the complete command on the subject. So before starting the next problem, I expect my viewers to have a hard copy of all the problems I have provided in the link under my description. So keep the problems ready and then start watching the problem. Now I am reading out the 4th problem. In an engineering works, the standard time for a job is 16 hours and the basic wage is 1 rupee per hour. So standard time 16 hours and the basic wage rate per hour is 1 rupee. A bonus scheme is instituted so that the worker is to receive normal rate of hours actually worked and 50% of time saved. This sentence is nothing but wages are paid according to Halsey method. So Halsey has suggested that wages will be paid for the time worked plus 50% of time saved. That is the explanation of Halsey method. So this is what it is given. Material for the job cost ₹20 and overheads are charged at ₹2 per labor hour. So whenever we are given material and overheads, that means we are required to calculate the factory cost. We are required to calculate the factory cost. Then calculate the wages and effective rate of earnings per hour if the job is completed in 12 hours and in 14 hours. So 2 different cases are given. If the job is completed in 12 hours, what are the total wages and what is the earnings per hour? Right? Similarly, if the actual time taken is 14 hours, then what are the total wages and what is the hourly rate of earnings? And secondly, also ascertain the factory cost of the job on the same basis. So we are required to calculate the factory cost also accordingly if the actual time is 12 hours and 14 hours. The standard time allowed is 16 hours. So very simple, straightforward problem. See here, standard, S stands for standard time. Standard time is given in the problem 16 hours. Time per hour, rate per hour. Rate per hour is 1 rupee per hour. Case 1. If the job is completed in 12 hours, that means actual time taken is 12 hours. So T is equal to 12 hours. Now first we calculate the total wages. T into R plus 50% of S minus T into R, because it is given in the problem that wages are paid for the time worked plus 50% of time saved. Time saved ka matlab S minus T. Standard time minus actual time, that is the time saved. So instead of 16 hours, the worker has completed 12 hours. So how much time he has saved? 4 hours he has saved. So total wages T into R plus 50% of S minus T into R. 12, actual time taken 12, 12 into 1, 12, 50% of S minus T, 16 minus 12, 4. So 50% of 4 is 2 rupees. So 12 plus 2, 14 rupees. So total wages we got 14 rupees. It is also asking you to calculate effective rate of earning per hour. What is the effective rate of earnings per hour? So total wages he is getting how much? 14 rupees. In how many hours he is getting 14 rupees? 12 hours. Actually, he has worked 12 hours and he got a wages of 14 rupees. So what is the per hour effective rate? 14 by 12. It comes to 1 rupee 17 paisa per hour. This is the effective rate of earnings of the worker. Now it is asking you to calculate the factory cost. Factory cost mein kya karenge? First material plus wages will get the prime cost. To prime cost we add the overheads to get the factory cost. So material is given in the problem 20 rupees. Wages just now we have calculated 14 rupees are the wages. So prime cost 34. Overheads are given in the problem 2 rupees for actual hours worked. 2 rupees per hour worked. How many hours he has actually worked? 12 hours. So 2 into 12, 24 rupees are the overheads. The factory cost comes to 58 rupees. First part we have completed. The second part, it is asking you to find out the second case. Case number 2. If the job is completed in 14 hours. First case, if the job is completed in 12 hours. Now we are changing T value. Earlier T value was 12, now T value was 14. So total wages T into R, 50% of S minus T into R, 14 into 1, 14. 50% of 16 minus 14. 16 is the standard time. 16 minus 14, 2. 50% of 2 is 1 rupee. 15 rupees is the total wages. Total wages we got 15 rupees. Hourly effective rate of earnings per hour. Effective rate of earnings per hour. So total wages he got 15 rupees. In total time taken 14 hours. 14 घंटे में उसको 15 रुपये मिले तो 1 घंटे में कितना मिलेगा? 15 rupees divided by 14, 1 rupee 1.07. This is the effective rate of earnings per hour. Now we calculate factory cost. Factory cost, material 20 rupees, wages we got 15 now, 35 prime cost, overheads 2 rupees per hour worked. How many hours he has worked? 14. So 14 into 2, 28. So total 63 rupees is the factory cost. That's all. This is the end of problem number 4. Now see the problem number 5. An operator engaged in machining certain components receives an ordinary rate of 1 rupee 60 paisa per day of 8 hours. The worker is getting 1.60 rupees for a day of 8 hours. तो 8 घंटे में उसको 1 rupee 60 पैसा मिल रहा, तो पर आवर कितना मिलेगा? 1.60 divided by 8 will get rate per hour. Now the standard output for machining the component has been fixed at 80 pieces per hour. Time as fixed for premium bonus. Standard output is given 80 units per hour, 80 pieces per hour. Pieces या units means same. So the standard time allowed by the employer is 80 units per hour. He has to produce 80 units. Now on a certain day the output of this machine is 800 pieces. The worker has produced 800 pieces on one day. Find the labor cost per 100 pieces and the wage that would have been earned by the workman under the following. 3 different questions are given. We have to find out what are the total wages and the labor cost per 100 pieces, 100 units. If bonus of 0.23 is paid for every 100 extra output, that means when the worker has produced extra output more than the standard, actually standard output is given 80 units per hour and day consists of 8 hours. Day consists of 8 hours. So 8 into 80, 640, 8 8 is 64. 640 units is the standard output per day. Per day standard output 640. But he has produced 800 units. So he has produced more than standard. So he will be paid bonus. How much bonus? 0.23 per every 100 extra units. If paid on straight piecework basis as standard rate. Second question. If he is paid at the straight piece rate basis. Third, if Halsey premium bonus is being adopted 50-50. 50-50 means 50% of time saved. That's it. Now carefully you see here. Hourly rate. It is given the worker is paid 1 rupee 60 paisa for 8 hours. So per hour it will become 0.20. 1.60 divided by 8. 0.20 is the rate per hour. Secondly, standard output is given in the problem 80 pieces per hour or 80 units per hour. This is the standard. Now standard output for 8 hours. Day consists of 8 hours. So how much is the standard output for 8 hours? 8 into 80, 640 units is the standard output. Actual output he has made 800 units. Actual output 800 pieces. Now piece rate. In 1 hour he has to produce 80 pieces. And in 1 hour, how much is the rate? Rate per hour 20 paisa. Rate per hour is 20 paisa. And output per hour is 80 units. So how much is the piece rate? So 20 paisa divided by 80 pieces. So 0.20 divided by 80. You'll get 0.0025. This 0.0025 is called piece rate. Unit rate. For every 1 unit produced, he should be paid 0.0025. 0.0025. This is a basic calculation. Now we'll attempt one by one. The first question, if bonus of 0.23 is paid per 100 extra output. First case, what is the total wages if a bonus of 0.23 will be paid for every 100 extra output he has produced? Definitely he has produced extra, because the standard output he should make is 640, but actually he has produced 800. So we calculate wages. First of all, 640 units he has produced, and every unit piece rate, how much is the piece rate here? 0.0025. एक यूनिट के ऊपर 0.0025 देंगे. 640 यूनिट्स पर कितना होगा? 640 into 0.0025, 1 rupee 60 paisa. These are the wages paid for 640. Now how much extra he has paid? 800 minus 640 means 160. 800 minus 640 is 160 units he has made extra. Of this extra, bonus will be paid at 0.23 for every 100 units. So here bonus, for 100 extra units bonus is 0.23. For 160 extra units, how much? How 160? Because he has to produce 640 units and he has made 800 units. So 800 minus 640 is 160 extra unit he has produced. For every 100 extra units, 0.23. For 160 extra units, how much? So 160 by 100 into 0.23, bonus comes to 0.37. So 0.37 is the bonus. So total wages 1.60 plus 0.37, 1.97 is the total earnings of the worker. Now earnings for 800 pieces. By making 800 pieces, he got the total earnings of 1.97. Now we want the labor cost for every 100 pieces. It is asking in the problem, what is the labor cost for 100 pieces? For 800 pieces, by making 800 pieces, he got the earnings of 1.97. For 100 pieces, how much would be the earnings? So 100 by 800 into 1.97, 0.246. So 0.246 is the labor cost per 100 pieces. Employer के लिए labor cost जो पड़ रहा है for every 100 pieces 0.246. First question completed. Now second bit. If paid for on straight piecework basis at the standard rate, that means no bonus at all. Straight piecework basis. So piece rate, how much is a piece rate? We got 0.0025. This 0.0025 piece rate will be applied for actual output made. How much is the actual output he has produced? 800 pieces he has produced. So 800 pieces into 0.0025, 2 rupees. His total wages will be 2 rupees. Now total earnings 2 rupees. Now we want the labor cost for every 100 pieces. By making 800 pieces, he got the wages of 2 rupees. For making 100 pieces, how much? So 100 by 800 into 2, it comes to 0.25. The labor cost from the employer's point of view is 0.25 for every 100 pieces. Second part completed. Now I am coming to the third part. If Halsey premium bonus is adopted, 50-50 means 50%. Already we know the formula S T into R plus S 50% of S minus T into R. So we need three things: standard time, actual time, and rate. Rate already we have calculated. How much is the rate per hour? 20 paisa. Rate per hour 20 paisa. And actual time, he has taken an actual time of 8 hours. He has taken an actual time of 8 hours. But standard time we don't know. We have to find out the standard time. Standard time for making 800 hours. Now, here S is equal to 10. Standard time 10. How we got 10? I'll explain you. Actual time taken. Time taken by the worker is 8 hours. Rate is 0.2. S10. Standard time 10. How 10 come? For making 640 pieces. For making 640 pieces, the standard time is 8 hours. 8 घंटे में 640 pieces बनाना है, ये standard है. But he has produced how many pieces? 800. He has produced 800 pieces. So for making 800 pieces, how much would be the time? 640 pieces के लिए 8 hours है, तो 800 pieces के लिए कितना time होना चाहिए? तो 800 by 640 into 8, 10 hours. For making 800 pieces, standard time should be 10 hours. but he has taken the time how many hours? 8 hours. जो काम 10 घंटे का है वो काम 8 घंटे में उन्हें कंप्लीट कर दिया. Now total wages is equal to T into R plus 50% of S minus T into R. Actual time taken is 8 hours. 8 into 0.2, 1.6. 50% of 10 minus 8 into 0.2. 50% of 0.4, 0.2. So 1.6 plus 0.2, 1.80. So 1 rupee 80 paisa is the total earnings of the worker for producing how many units? 800 units. तो 800 units के लिए उसको 1 rupee 80 paisa for 100 pieces. How much? 100 by 800 into 1.8, 0.225. 0.225 is the labor cost for making 100 pieces. So this is the end of problem number 5. Now we start the next problem, that is problem number 6. See the sixth problem. From the following particulars, calculate the earnings of A and B on straight piece rate basis and Taylor's differential piece rate system. So there are two workers A and B. We have to find out what are the total wages, total earnings according to straight piece rate basis. The meaning of straight piece rate basis means we have to multiply the number of units he has produced with the piece rate. We have to find out the piece rate and that will be multiplied by number of units produced. That is called straight piece rate basis. Secondly, we have to apply Taylor's differential piece rate system. So Taylor has specified two piece rates, a higher piece rate and a lower piece rate. A higher piece rate will be applied to those workers who produced up to standard or more than standard. And a lower piece rate will be applied to those workers who produce less than standard. That is Taylor's differential piece rate system. Standard production is 8 units per hour and the normal time rate is 40 paisa per hour. In the problem, time rate is given, but we don't require time rate, we need piece rate. So we have to convert this time rate into piece rate. How to convert? In 1 hour, the time rate is given 40 paisa. And in 1 hour, how many units has to be produced? It is given standard production 8 units per hour. In 1 hour, the worker is expected to produce 8 units. And for that 8 units, he is paid 40 paisa. So we have to find out what is the piece rate. So 40 paisa divided by 8 units. 0.40 divided by 8 units. We'll get the piece rate. Now, piece rate at or above standard. In a 9-hour day, the day consists of 9 hours working hours. A produced 54 units and B produced 75 units. These are the actual output of A and B. Differential to be applied are 80% of piece rate at or below standard and 120% above the standard. In a 80% of piece rate for below the standard and 120% of piece rate for at or above the standard. That's the problem. Now see carefully. Standard output is 8 units per hour. 1 घंटे में 8 यूनिट बनाना है. Hourly rate 40 paisa, 0.40. So piece rate will be 40 paisa divided by 8 units. 0.40 divided by 8, 0.05. This is the piece rate. Now standard output in 9 hours. A day consists of 9 working hours. So during 9 hours, how many units is expected to produce? Per hour 8 units. Per hour 8 units. So 8 into 9. 72 units is the standard output to be produced by the worker. This standard is given by the management. Now calculation of wages according to piece rate basis. According to piece rate basis, जितने pieces बनाएंगा उतना उसको wages pay करेंगे. तो accordingly, how much of the actual output? Actual output A 54 units, B 75 units. This is the actual output of A and B given in the problem. Now total wages A is equal to how many units he has produced? 54. What is the piece rate per unit? How much is to be paid? 0.05. So 54 into 0.05, you will get 2.70. Similarly, the output of B is 75. So 75 into 0.05, 3.75. These are the total wages according to straight piece rate basis. Now, calculation of total wages under Taylor's differential piece rate system. Now we have to apply Taylor method. Two different methods are given. 80% of normal piece rate and 120% of normal piece rate. Worker A, actual output is below the standard Actual output of A is 54,000 units. What is the standard output? 72 units. So instead of 72, worker A has produced only 54 units. It is below the standard. So he should be paid 80% of normal piece rate. He should be paid 80% of normal piece rate. So he is paid 80% of normal piece rate, that is 80% of 0.05. Normal piece rate is 0.05. So 80% of 0.05, 0.04. This is the piece rate will be applied. So 54 units into 0.04, 2.16 are the wages for worker A. Now worker B. Actual output is above the standard. How much is the actual output? 75 units. What is the standard output? 72 units. The B worker has produced more than standard. So he should be paid wages at 120% of normal piece rate. Normal piece rate is 0.05. So 120% of 0.05. The actual output is above the standard, so he is paid 120% of normal piece rate. 120% of 0.05, you will get 0.06. So 75 units into 0.06, 4.5 is the wages for worker B. That's all. This is the end of problem number 6. Now I am reading out problem number 7. Based on the following information, calculate the earnings of A, B, C and D under Merrick's multiple piece rate system. Taylor's differential piece rate system we have seen. Now in this problem we have to apply Merrick differential piece rate system. Merrick system is an improvement over Taylor system. Taylor has specified two rates, a higher rate and a lower rate. Merrick has specified three different piece rates. Normal piece rate, 110% of normal piece rate and 120% of normal piece rate, depending on the percentage of actual output over the standard output. What is the percentage of actual output over standard output? On that basis, three different rates has been specified by Merrick. So here 4 workers are there, A, B, C, D. Standard production per hour 12 units. Normal rate 60 paisa per hour. Now again, directly piece rate is not given. We require piece rate for Taylor and Merrick. Here in the problem, piece rate is not given, time rate is given. So 1 hour time rate is 60 paisa. And 1 hour, how many units has to be produced? 12 units. So 60 paisa divided by 12 units. 0.60 divided by 12 will get the piece rate. And in an 8-hour day, A produced 64 units, B 96 units, C 84 units and D 100 units. So we are given the actual output of A, B, C, D. Now we have to calculate what is the percentage of this actual output over standard, and then we decide which rate is applicable as per the Merrick system. See here, hourly rate. In the problem, hourly rate is given 60 paisa, 0.60. Standard output per hour is 12 units. So we simply divide piece rate is equal to 0.60 divided by 12, 0.05. The piece rate per unit rate is 0.05. Standard output for 8 hours. Per hour, 12 units must be produced. So 8 hours in a day, how many units should be the standard output? 96, 80 to 12. So per day, standard output is 96. Now we have to compare this standard with the actual. Percentage of actual output over standard. The formula is actual output divided by standard output into 100. You will get the percentage. So we calculate the percentage for A, B, C, D, all the 4 workers. A. The actual output for A is 64 units given in the problem. Standard output 96. So 64 by 96 into 100, you will get 66.67%. So actual output over standard is 66.67% for worker A. Worker B, actual output 96. Standard output also 96. So 96 by 96 into 100, 100%. Then C, 84 units he has produced. So 84 by 96 into 100, 87.5%. D, 100 units he has produced. 100 by 96 into 100, 104.16. These are the percentage of actual output over standard by A, B, C, D. Now we'll see what is the scale of rates given by Merrick. According to Merrick differential piece rate system, the following rates will apply. percentage of actual output over standard up to 83%. These rates are specified by metric system. So up to 83% of standard output, normal piece rate will apply. If a worker produces more than 83% but up to 100%, more than 83% but up to 100%, he will be paid 110% of normal piece rate. If a worker has produced more than 100%, he will be paid 120% of normal piece rate. These rates you have to remember. It will not be specified in the problem. Right? Now we calculate for each worker. Worker A, the actual output is below 83%. See the actual output of A worker. How much is the percentage? 66.67%. This percentage is below 83%. So below 83 means normal piece rate will apply. What is the normal piece rate? 0.05 rate will apply. So the actual output is below 83, so normal piece rate will apply. Total wages 64 units into 0.05. Normal piece rate 0.05. So 3 rupee 20 paisa. 3.20 is the total wages for worker A. Now worker B. The actual production is 100% of standard. You can see here 100%. For B worker, his actual output is 100% of standard. Banana hai 96 और वो बनाया है 96. Both are equal. 100%. So he will be paid wages at the 110% of normal piece rate. Here it is given 83% to 100%, up to 100%, 110%. So you can see here the actual production is 100% of standard. So 110% of normal piece rate will apply. 110% of 0.05, 0.055. So total wages 96 units into 0.055, 5.28 total wages for worker B. Now worker C. What is the actual percentage? 87.5%. So the rate from 83% to 100%, it is 110% of normal piece rate will apply. So worker C, the actual output is below 83% and 100, between 83% and 100%. Between 83 and 100%. So 110% of normal piece rate will apply. Already we know 110% means 0.005. 0.0055. So 84 units into 0.055. 4.62 is the wages for C. Last one, worker D. His actual output is 104.16%. It is more than 100%. So over 100%, 120% of normal piece rate will apply. So 120% of 0.05. 120% of 0.05, you will get 0.06. So 100 units into 0.06. 6 rupees are the total wages for worker D. So we have completed 7 main problems on labor. So viewers, if you are satisfied, give a like to this video. Give some comment about my explanation, whether you are understanding or not. And subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed. Share it in your friends. So we are going to do more and more subjects videos and on this channel. So keep watching, share it, like it, subscribe it. We'll continue in the next video.